Okay, watch this. All right, we're monitoring. I'm not a big fan of gadgets and devices when it comes to breath work. If you know anything about me, if you've read my books, A Practical Guide to Breath Work or The Language of Breath, you're probably familiar with the fact that I am very much interested in internal awareness. So we call this the sense of interoception. And it's the thing that either most of breath work is accidentally tripping over and they're like, wow, it must be the breathing fast and things that are making everything happen. Or they completely ignore internal awareness and it's like, hey, it's all about how many sounds and external stimuli can we combine with breath work. The real magic of breath work, the real magic of mindfulness practices is ultimately learning how to become more internally aware so that you can use that sense of internal awareness to understand your emotions, understand your sensations, and have a greater sense of resilience when it comes to when things come from the outside world. Oh, these things are coming up. Oh, I'm familiar with these things because I engage with these things. So I'm not normally the kind of guy who wants to get a gadget or a device. Yes, I will get like a fitness tracker and things like that. I want to know, okay, approximately how many hours of sleep did I get last night and things of that nature. But a lot of these devices really are they're not that accurate. And they're just kind of guesstimates as far as this is approximately what we think your data should be or what it is. And so it's not something I would typically promote or even review. Like I've had this is a Garmin watch. I've had it now for like 4 years. I'm not going to be doing a review over a fitness watch because they're okay. They're okay. I'm not going to bash on them, but they're not incredibly accurate. They're not the greatest things in the world. So not too long ago, I came across the Oxa Life device. And this was a device that I had been kind of interested in. I saw that they were doing some development on, and then I saw a friend of mine, he tried it and he liked it. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll try this out. I'm not a big fan of devices, but I'll give it a shot. So when I tried the Oxa device, I noticed right away that it's a lot different from a lot of the devices that are out there. And the beauty behind it is that not only is there a lot there for a person who's really just kind of a beginner at breath work, but there's a lot in this device that you can use if you're a seasoned breath worker like myself, or someone who is looking to have a long breathwork practice. Okay, maybe you're a beginner, but you don't want just a device for the first few weeks of your practice. So what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna cover how this device works, what some of the functions are, why it's different from a lot of the other devices that are out there, and I'll even try it on and give you an idea of what it looks like and how it is to operate. First, let's talk about the process of ordering an Oxa. So an Oxa is not like a fitness tracker. This is my smartwatch that I've had for years, and it's one of those, hey, it's one size fits all. You go buy it, you order it, and anybody, you just put it on. And actually, it has a pulse ox on it. And there was a period of time where it was showing that I had low blood oxygen saturation every night. And I was like, man, am I getting sleep apnea? What is happening here? And it turned out that I just didn't have the band tight enough. So with the Oxa, they don't have problems like this because you actually have to measure yourself before you order the device. Now, when you get the box, you're gonna open it up. There's a few different ones you can get. You can get for the ladies, you can get the sports bra. I've got the shirt right here. So it's a really soft shirt. And actually, let me just show you the device. So this is, you have to kind of jiggle it a little bit and it'll turn on. So this is the Oxa device. This is the actual unit that picks up all the information, and it hooks into either the shirt or the belt, and it will hook up right here. So you can just, if you wanted to get both, you can get both. I have both, and I use them at different times. I like using the belt when I exercise because it doesn't get all stinky and sweaty. But these are washable as well, and I've washed the shirt already one time before, and hey, it didn't get destroyed. So it's nice, durable quality product. that is washable. Now it's taking its information, whenever you put this on, you're gonna notice that there is a part that is really, it's the hardest part to get on. And this is where that band is. And this is the specific part that is measured just for you. It's specifically focused on your rib cage. You put it over your rib cage, and on the other side of it, you're gonna see these pads. What you're getting is ultimately an electrocardiogram. And this is one of the reasons why I'm really excited about this particular device, because you're getting some tech that normally you would have to, in previous years, you would have to go to the doctor to get something like that. So you're getting an electrocardiogram, and that is how it's going to measure in real time things like your heart rate variability. And it's got the skin conductance, so it's giving you a pretty good idea of your overall stress state. At the same time, it's telling you how deep into that breath you are, the rhythm, how many breaths per minute that you're taking. So it's telling you a lot of things using this, the tech that's in the device. It also has its own little charger, so it charges just kind of like a cell phone, like if you've got a smartphone. It's pretty typical. And then it's got this really cool thing that you can put your cell phone in. So there's other devices out there that might be straps, things like that, and those are great, but this is the first one where they've looked at all the tech, everything that would be relevant to a breathwork practice, and they put it all together as much as possible. For beginners, the Oxa is pretty cool because it allows you to start with a sequence. They start you with a very basic, breathe in for this much, exhale for this much, teaching you really simple techniques along with getting that biofeedback, and they take you through a sequence. So you'll start with level 1 and you'll work your way to a little bit more complex, maybe a little bit more in-depth sessions. The nice thing about it is, as you're learning, you're able to see that biofeedback. So if you're new to breathwork, whether you're just wanting to work with the app or whether you're working with a breathworker like myself or someone from the language of breath, the nice thing is, as you're learning the techniques and the exercises that you're being taught, you can see the biofeedback. You can see, okay, this is how it's affecting my heart rate. This is how it's affecting my HRV, how it's affecting my level of calm. And the nice thing is, since this device was designed by scientists, it really offers you some of the best overall biofeedback that you can get. I can teach a person a lot about how to do breath work. We can do sessions. I can feel how you're breathing when I'm there. I can say, breathe into this area a little bit more, breathe into that area a little bit more. But for home practice, this device offers that kind of immediate feedback that I can see helping a person develop a lot faster. In the language of breath, we often talk about, it's like a technique is like a sentence. It's speaking to the unconscious part of you that you're trying to get the change. That unconscious part of you is the part of you that will relax you or will add energy. You're trying to speak using those techniques, but just like in everyday language, we understand that the way that you say what you say, that will affect the meaning of what you say. This is one of the reasons why I like the Oxa device for beginners, not only because on the app there is a really easy sequence of steps, getting into more and more complex techniques and concepts as you go, but also as you are learning from a breath worker, as you're learning just on your own and experimenting with techniques that you find in my books or online or other places, you can start to see the very real biofeedback as you're practicing the technique. For those who have been practicing breathwork for a longer period of time, this is the device that can help verify a lot of maybe what you've been intuiting about your practice, or a lot of the clients that I get have been practicing breathwork for a long time and they've collected all these techniques. They've been doing all these methods or all these different things, and they come to me still confused, still even oftentimes more dysregulated than they were when they started. I practiced breath work a long time before actually learning to develop a strong sense of interoception. I thought I had it. I thought I was developing that sense of interoception, but it wasn't until I actually learned how to develop that sense of interoception that I actually did. So as you learn that sense of interoception, developing those subjective feedback markers, you can cross-reference that with the objective markers that you're going to get with the Oxa device. The scientists that put this together, they knew that, okay, if you really want to get precise objective markers, you need to gather your data in a specific way. So for instance, when we are looking at our heart rate, when we're looking at heart rate variability, and when we're looking at the degree of stress, we're using skin conductance, we're using EKG, as opposed to a lot of the other methods that are not they're not terrible, but they're not anywhere as close to as accurate when you're trying to get those measurements. Overall, I'm really excited about the Oxa device because I honestly think that this is some really, really interesting tech that we haven't really seen its fullest potential met yet. And that's exciting to me. You know, as a breath worker, as a person, I train breath workers in the Language of Breathwork school. You know, this is what I do. This is my life. And I've been able to use it to really zero in on aspects of my breathing that, hey, you know, I'm really thankful that there's something here really monitoring close. Am I really getting that smooth inhale that I thought I was getting? Am I really smoothing out that exhale? Where exactly does my breath wave break down? And this is the kind of feedback that I find to be very, very useful in my own practice. And of course, I think this is why, you know, I know that I'm going to be recommending it to my breath workers, to my clients, and to people that are just interested in learning how to become a person who does breath work. Another aspect that I'm really excited about is the sleep tracking function. One of the cool things is all you have to do is throw this on, and believe me, I'm not the kind of guy who likes to wear like devices as I sleep. You know, a watch is bad enough. I'm not the kind of guy who just wants to put one of these on, but I have been able to get to sleep really easily using these devices, both the shirt and the belt. And it's really cool because the app will do a sleeping, like a pre-bedtime protocol. So it guides you through some breath work, and then it just starts to monitor. And it will monitor all night long as you sleep. One of the things that I found to be interesting was the fact that when it's doing your sleep monitoring, the Bluetooth option will actually turn off. So I know that I live in a world, it's the modern world, and I'm not trying to run away from the modern world, but there's a lot of electromagnetic fields around, and this is why when I sleep, I make sure my phone is far away, I make sure all the Bluetooth devices on me are turned off. This is really cool because it turns the Bluetooth off as you sleep. So not only does that allow it to conserve on its battery, but that's one less EMF that I have to think about. Okay, it's right here. There's an electromagnetic thing right here whenever I'm sleeping. I really like that aspect, and I think that was a really cool thing that they added in. So kudos to the designers on that. The information that they gather in the sleep tracking function is really valuable too. You get to know what your heart rate variability was throughout the night, what your average breathing time, so how many breaths per minute was per night during the night. You get to know what your heart rates were, so your max heart rate, your minimum heart rate, and then it will tell you approximately how relaxed you were. And so those are really cool functions, especially as you track them over time. This is all in alignment. So everything I've already talked about, everything that this device is about is completely in alignment with the language of breath, philosophy of breath work. So this is why I'm so, I'm kind of a fan. I'm really excited about this because this device is not here to change you. It is just there to help you with awareness. The research does a great job of saying this is what happened when these other people did these techniques. But the only way that you are going to know, am I getting the response from that unconscious part of me that I'm trying to speak to using my breath? Am I getting the response that I'm looking for? Or maybe, maybe I'm sending the wrong signals. The only way you're gonna know that is if you can become more aware. The numbers are there. The reason why they're there is to help you to make that leap and that jump to understanding your subjective awareness better. If you know anything about the language of breath, here's my book, take a look, huh? There it is. If you've read the book, you know that I'm not a big fan of thinking that we are these machine operators, this mind that drives around this machine of a body. We are relationships within ourselves, a conscious and unconscious relationship. And when we start to get these more objective measurements, we can start to say, okay, this is how it feels, this is the objective measurement, and now I can start using my breath and my internal awareness more effectively. Take a look at the options that they have. Let me know what you think is cool. If you've bought one, let me know how you like it. I would love to know more about what you think about this product, especially if you've purchased it and if you've experimented with it too. So take a look at the link below if you'd like the discount on trying your Oxa for your own. Let me know what you think. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to go out there and be kind to one another.